Astrology time, so here we go. Today is Monday, and it is the 29th of June. So our moon is going to enter Capricorn at 3:19 in the morning, and she is full at 7:57 this evening. Now, normally the full moon would be a big deal, right? We'd be like, oh yeah, the full moon. This full moon's in Capricorn, and the full moon, and it caps off the blue moon that we experienced in May, and it raises some questions that we may have had since the last new moon in Gemini. Like, for example, the earth and energy of this lunation is both practical and celebratory. We're kind of like at a culmination point. Well, full moons are culmination points, but this is a culmination point of something bigger, right? I know it is for me, but I'm wondering if it is for you too. There's a huge amount of understanding out there that I've been seeing amongst our community about people really beginning to get astrology and seeing like what it can do for them by living more intentionally with some of the astrology that's put forth from their own research as well. So this is very interesting, but now today we're going to kick this up a little bit of a notch, right? Because cardinal signs, they're initiators, right? Like Capricorn and like Cancer. So this one accompanies the beginning of the knockout rounds of the ongoing World Cup. Now, several teams, they're already heading back home. But how does this mean, right? The word ongoing here is crucial because we won't be initiating much of anything after today. We're going to be addressing our ongoing things that we're doing, right? Ongoing changes, ongoing both 3D and 5D. That's the ongoing stuff that we're going to be talking about, and that's because something is happening, right? What's happening? Mercury is retrograde at 1:36 p.m. So now we have to be aware of. Now we have to be aware of what we need to be mindful of. Okay. So let's talk about this. Have a standard boilerplate for Mercury retrograde, right? No new projects. No new tech items. No upgrades. I tried to do that once. No large purchases and no new contracts, okay? Just know that communication is going to be fraught, right? Communication often snarls. And in this case with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, this disconnect, see, I'm doing it right here. These disconnects will be emotionally upsetting, right? I mean, you'll get pretty emotional about it. But we also just need to make sure that we're getting in touch with ourselves, right? So we're going to be naturally a little bit more defensive. So it's going to take time to discuss things and to get others to do exactly what it is that we need to be doing together, for the lack of a better word, right? So it just takes longer. They're fraught, right? Fraught communications. They're just not quite. And look, those purchases is something you think is a good idea, just may turn out to be a lemon. So I became a Mac user during a Mercury retrograde. And since I thought that I bought all the items before the retrograde, I can go ahead and, modify a PC. I've done it many times before, right? Hard lesson. Cost a lot of money, too. What we can and should do is pay attention to the words that begin with the letters R and E, like revise, review, reconsider, reflect, and recontact, are a few words that can come to mind. I'm sure you can come up with many more. Every Mercury retrograde is different, however. This one is personal. So today's keyword is revisit. And our color is charcoal. Mercury retrogrades provide us with an interesting opportunity to go back and revisit some key aspects, not once, but, a couple of times, 3 times. First time is when Mercury is going through the sign, so we really don't notice it really that much, but as we go back, we will begin to notice it. This one, however, is a little bit different, right? The third time occurs after Mercury is direct, and Mercury will be direct on the 23rd of July at 16 degrees Cancer. So it began at 26 degrees Cancer, going back 10 degrees, and now we're going forward. Mercury leaves the shadow or storm period on Friday, the 29th of July. So by then, Mercury will have covered up all the ground that it had previously covered, right? Now, what's been going on? Not a lot, but we're going to get to that, right? So this month will mostly be under our own scrutiny as we shift and adjust our situation accordingly to where Mercury is and what it is that we're we're feeling and experiencing. Feeling inside, right? Nice Cancer word, feeling. Now, we have to use the innately intuitive energy of Mercury in Cancer to adapt to realities that we may be facing. Those World Cup teams, right? They brought who they brought. There's no time to add anybody else or anything like that. They can shuffle their alignments and their adjustments and all that stuff, but this is what they came to the dance with, right? This is what they have to work with. So they're going to have to work within the confines and the context of that situation. Now, it's a nice metaphor for that, right? Look, this energy focuses on security, home, and country as obviously as those games continue and as we continue along in this month. Now, those games, they're big business. Today is a friendly reminder that we are beginning a new month. A new month? Well, how is that? Well, because it's going to it'll start on Wednesday, right? But that's a calendar month. There's a different month. There's a different year that's actually beginning to start because we have another big shift that occurs tomorrow here on the East Coast, just after 1 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there, as Jupiter leaves Cancer for Leo. This is a big deal. We've been in Cancer all year. So Jupiter spends about a year in the signs, right? And this is no exception. So now we're going to spend a year with Jupiter in Leo. And this changes the entire coming year for many. But don't worry about what is to come. We'll talk about that later, right? Wrap up as much as you can today. That's really what you have to do. Get out in front of this energy early on. And remember to keep on track with your newly rediscovered Chiron and Taurus solutions. In my case, I need to go back and revisit the gym. How about you? So let's get practical. Anything that is old and hanging out there has to be addressed today. I mean, just get it done. We're not going to have that retrograde happen until this afternoon, and the full moon's not going to happen until later on in the evening. So we have to make sure that we just address that stuff right now. You don't have to be overly cute or creative. Just don't fall into your own ass and not get it done. All right? Seriously, just get it done. Revisit that Taurus thing. Go out there, knock out everything that you have to do. Get it done. All right? No falling into your own behind, okay? So things may be in motion in your 3D world, but you still need to follow up. And by following up, by getting this stuff done today, you set yourself up good for the weekend and the rest of the week. Because for the rest of the week, we're going to actually have a lot of energy that's going to give us to revisit our ongoing side hustles. Remember, there's that ongoing word again, right? Nothing new, ongoing. And life beyond our normal workday. So after the full moon, know that our community will need you more. Is going to need more of us, right? It's going to need more of you. And as Jupiter gets deep into Leo, you will need to step into your expanded role in both the 3D and the 5D. So, I mean, both normal work stuff, side hustle-y stuff, and dare I say, even spiritual stuff, right? We just need to be able to step into those roles comfortably. Just don't rush anything. Start doing the necessary groundwork tonight and revisit only what is existing. Remarkably, Mercury will be making very few corrections for this retrograde cycle. The biggest adjustment you can make is in how you receive and perceive your intuitive and subconscious messages. Messaging, that's what it's all about, right? How we receive them, perceive them, and consequently communicate them to a broader audience. And that is all I have for you today. So weird. My events have been so Broadway lately. It's just amazing how many people we've been talking about that have been Broadway related, right? Particularly from the producing side. The Tony Award, Antoinette Perry, or yesterday was Richard Rodgers. Today, our birth is Frank Lesser. I've done him before. He's the guy that brought you Guys and Dolls and Baby It's Cold Outside, and the most happy fella. Huge body of work as far as songwriting and stuff like that. Baby Gets Cold Outside, classic, right? Until they decided, oh my God, it's not appropriate. Except he did it at parties with his wife before it became a song, before he sold it for a movie. So he was born in 1910 and he died in 1969. He's a songwriter and composer. He was born in New York City. And our event is also kind of Broadway related, right? Shakespeare's Globe Theater in 1613 burns down during a performance of Henry VIII. And that is all I have for you. Now, I do that one a lot because I just love that. I just love that they know it's this date in 1613 that the Globe Theater burned down. And that's all I have for you. Let's recap, shall we? Today, our keyword is revisit, and our color is charcoal. You know, I just happen to be wearing a natural colored shirt because I like the color. It's certainly not charcoal. But that's all I have for you. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Thank you so much. All the new follows and stuff like that, it's crazy. Even the comments, I didn't get to address them all yesterday, but I will get to them today, and I will get to them because I'm not going to leave any of that old stuff hanging, right? That's right. Taking my own advice. Today is a 6. Happy astrocatting.